Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. John Douillard at LifeSpa.com, where we prove ancient medical wisdom with modern science. And today, I want to talk about Thanksgiving. And before we talk about some of the Thanksgiving tips that I want to share about how to navigate this massive amount of food we're going to all eat, I want to talk about some food shortages, the tendency we have to waste so much food. You know, in the year 2050, the way population is growing, we're going to need to feed about another 2.2 billion more people. Today, we waste enough food worldwide to feed 3.8 billion people. So really, to solve the food shortage issue, all we have to do is just take care of our waste. Remember GMOs, genetically modified organisms? Well, they were engineered. We were sold this bill of goods that they would solve the world's food crisis problem, food shortage problem. Well, turns out they didn't really do that. I've written an article about this. You want to check it out, and we'll link to these articles here. But one study showed that the GMOs are out. They're not really going to be here for us to solve the world's food shortage problems at all. They've shifted gears to using GMOs to make things cheaper for farmers, which is a debatable issue. But they're now investigating what are called seed microbes. We're basically covering microbes, seeds that we plant with microbes. And they have now investigated over 500,000 different microbes and tried wrapping them on seeds, and with no real success to increase yields to solve the world's hunger problems, which I thought was sort of interesting. After all these tests they've been doing for years now, they actually have one product that they actually promote for increasing the yield of corn by wrapping corn with certain microbes, and they've increased the yield by 3 bushels per acre with this millions, maybe billions of dollars in research to figure this out. 3 bushels of corn per acre is not going to solve the world's hunger problems. That is a fact. So the idea that we are actually, we've only investigated 500,000 seeds or microbes to put on seeds, and that's only 1% of the microbes in the soil. It means that we really know absolutely next to nothing about what's really happening in our soils and how the soils have bugs, and the bugs are attracted to plants, and those plants, when we eat them in season, change our microbiome from one season to the next. All these things are so critically important. Make sure you get our free seasonal recipe grocery list and superfood guide every month of the year for free, so you start getting seasonal food in your diet. Very, 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 very important. So one thing is, how can we not waste all this food for Thanksgiving? And one way we can not waste food is by eating it all. Or we can do things by reusing some of our stale bread. There's a New York Times article that I'm going to link to this Facebook Live, where you can actually look at different recipes of how to use stale bread and different ways traditional people actually did use their leftovers and not wasting all their food, and how important it is. Remember, food waste adds up to could feed about 3.8 billion people a year, just the stuff that we throw away. But what we also do, which is sort of really crazy, is we only put the really pretty stuff on the grocery store shelves. So the grocery store shelves is stacked with beautiful bananas and beautiful avocados and beautiful mangoes and broccoli. It looks like broccoli. The broccoli that I grew in my garden this year is good. Didn't ever look like the broccoli that I see in the grocery store. Family resemblance, but not exactly the same. My carrots definitely weren't perfect looking carrots by any means, any stretch of the imagination, but they were good carrots. So there's a company called Imperfect Produce who actually sells you food that wasn't perfect enough to go on the grocery store counter because it didn't look perfect enough. And that makes up a massive amount of the food waste, because most of the food that's grown isn't perfect. So significant numbers of food is thrown away into waste bins and just thrown away. And that is actually resold by a company called Imperfect Produce. You can get that mailed right to your doorstep and get some weird looking carrots and some funky looking bananas and all types of imperfect produce. Another way for us to kind of check in and save some of the food waste. So now some tips about Thanksgiving. We're about to eat this really, really big meal. Some things to make sure we don't overeat. One thing is, if you're going to have breakfast that day, which is totally optional on that day, you can drink a lot of water and skip breakfast. But if you just can't make it, have a breakfast early and then try not to snack before the meal, because snacking will affect your ability to actually sit down and eat a really relaxed, calm meal. Also, it's very important when you sit down and eat the meal to relax and take time and not just gobble it down, and really make a point of chewing and putting your fork down and socializing and communicating, because sometimes Thanksgiving, after all this cooking and preparation, can last for 10 minutes and you're done. Okay, now I want to go and leave the table. So try your best to really make it a dining experience. That is something that works really well. Chewing your food actually increases brain chemistry, literally makes you smarter. So the more you chew, maybe the more intelligent conversation you'll have during Thanksgiving, and how good would that be? So that's something to look at as well. And then other things you can do to help yourself amp up your digestion is by taking a big glass of water, even an hour before the meal, 30 to 60 minutes before the meal. That it rehydrates or prehydrates your stomach lining, which is 80% water. And if that gets all prehydrated, the stomach goes, whoa, I have all this buffering water. This water converts into what's called bicarbonate, which neutralizes the acid in your stomach. And all of a sudden, you've got all this acid, this buffer bicarbonate layer, which is 90% water, that will actually neutralize the acid. Your stomach goes, wow, I've got all this buffer here. There's water here. I can make some acid. We can cook some food. We can really enjoy this meal. So that's one thing you can do, is have a big glass of water before the meal. And then during the meal, relax, dine, chew a lot, relax a lot, communicate a lot. And then after the meal, if you take a little rest on your left side, studies show the stomach folds this way on the left side. So if you lie that way, the stomach can contract and release the food that's been broken down by the acid in its own organized time. If you lie on your right side, you should pre-empty the stomach, which is not very good. If you lie on your left side, you can you let the food digest in a complete way. And there's pretty good studies that I've written about that show that creates less indigestion, better efficient digestion, definitely works with babies and colic and things like that as well. A lot of interesting science about by using our anatomy to help us be better digesters, particularly after we ate a really massive meal like at Thanksgiving. Everybody can go to the couch and lie down on your left side. If there's no room in the couch, you can get in your car and make a bunch of right turns in the parking lot and sort of lean to the left. That works sort of too. But anything to kind of keep the food on the left side while you're leaning that direction so the food empties on its own time is great. Then studies show if you go for a walk after your 15-minute left side meal, that doesn't mean sleep for the rest of the afternoon, then it shows that it significantly reduces the post-meal blood sugar spikes, which are really nice, and that can give you the ability to do that as well. Other things, make sure you don't drink any cold things. Have a cup of warm tea with your meal. It could be fennel and fenugreek or anything, but you can eat during this meal, but make sure it's not super cold, because that'll make you not able to digest as efficiently and not able to hold on to as much food. So this Thanksgiving, and of course, most of all, being aware of what we can be grateful for. And I think that's the best thing, because when you're grateful, you're being aware of what you're appreciating. So you are now appreciating what this world has given you. And that is when we get a big dose of us doing us, letting the true nature of us, which is to be compassionate and appreciative and grateful for others. And that's when we let ourselves out. And that's something that's really a beautiful sentiment about Thanksgiving. And one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite holidays is because we really do, tap into this idea of being grateful. In Christmas, the next holiday, it's about giving. And these are two sentiments that are so truly missing in our culture. So make an effort to express to your family and friends what you're grateful for, and then take that into the rest of the season, maybe even the year. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard. Read these article links about how to deal with food shortages, how to use your stale bread in recipes, and some of the other links that I'm giving you about some strategies about how to navigate indigestion and feel really healthy and around your digestion. And also, if you're a vegetarian, I have to tell you that my wife makes the most amazing paneer turkey with vegetarian gravy. That's nothing short of amazing. In fact, our family has used this turkey for years and years and years. And our 6 kids, when they get together, everybody eats all the paneer turkey first and then go to the other turkey. So it is a definite highlight. And even all the family who loves turkey, they love the paneer turkey even better. So that recipe is on my website. We'll give you a link as well. And check that out this year. You will not regret it. If you're a vegetarian looking for a vegetarian alternative to a good turkey, this is amazing. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.